We are the Belgian Spa-Francorchamps, but this will be the FP1, FP2 video. I will be talking about the upgrades that the teams brought, some takeaway from last week, and also some news that you need to know. Now, I said it like 2 or 3 weeks ago that it will be one of the worst pairing if Haas signs Esteban Ocon alongside Oliver Biermann. Oh God. It has been confirmed that Haas has signed Esteban Ocon alongside Oliver Biermann. And I keep looking at how that marriage will be because we all know Esteban Ocon. I love the guy, but we all know how he drives. He will finish giving you. If he does not finish giving you, he is not ready to go. And with his experience with his teammates coming from Sergio Perez to Fernando Alonso, and Sergio Perez was in Racing Point. And the funny thing with Esteban Ocon's trend is he goes to the team that Nico Hülkenberg leaves. Remember, Nico Hülkenberg left Racing Point of Force India, then Esteban Ocon was recruited. Nico Hülkenberg left Renault, Esteban Ocon was recruited. Nico Hülkenberg left Haas, now Esteban Ocon is being recruited. Maybe when Nico Hülkenberg is leaving Audi, he'll be moving to Audi. But the question is, he's racing against this young chap with all his experience from the days of Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso, and his present teammate, Pierre Gasly. I don't know how he'll be able to do it or cope with that young man. I hope it is a good marriage for them. Mattia Binotto has been signed by Audi to take on the project as the Chief of Operations and CTO. There might be links between him and Mick Schumacher because Mick Schumacher is somebody he had adored and worked with. He might have a link, but we are still looking at where Carlos Sainz is going to. Valtteri Bottas, where is he going to? We know Kevin Magnussen is leaving at the end of the season. Is he having another team? I'm not sure. Also, Max Verstappen, there has been cautioned on him for the sim racing he's having recently in the wake of the bad performance that Red Bull had in Hungary. The caveat is this, let me be sincere with you. He has been doing this and I'm sure, 100% sure that that is not the reason why he had a bad race. Red Bull should leak in word. They had a bad strategy that day. They were confused. It's as a result of the pressure I told you about. If Red Bull are under pressure, they will make mistakes, they will fall apart, they will crumble. So they are putting the pressure on their driver to recover because he's the Superman. Now the car is not fast. I've been saying that when that car is not fast, they will see the other side of Max Verstappen, which they are seeing. So everybody is on boiling point now. Why are they born? But unfortunately, Max Verstappen will be taking some grid place penalty, about 10 or 15, depending on the amount of parts he change on his car, because it's certainly going to change the engine on the car and some few parts in this Belgian Grand Prix. Naturally, the Belgian Grand Prix might favor Red Bull, the Sauber, and possibly the Ferrari. But don't count Mercedes out. Don't count McLaren out. So, but I don't see Red Bull winning the Grand Prix because they are still far back with the recent dynamics, because even in Hungary they were faster than the Mercedes, but the Mercedes were able to, with their pace, to hold them down. Ferrari with their pace could not hold them down because they are way faster than, we know Mercedes is now faster than Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton was able to hold him down, force Max Verstappen to mistakes, while George Russell was closer to Sergio Perez but unable to hold him down. So the advantage is no more there. So now taking a 10 place grid penalty, there's no hope. Seriously, there's no hope for them in this race. I don't see them win this race or coming close to the top 3. In the last 2 years, he has always taken penalties for changing engine in Belgium and he had always won the race. But now, I'm not seeing that happening. It's impossible. It cannot happen. And also, MasterCard and some other few investors are trying to partner with McLaren, which is a good deal for them. So McLaren are getting more funds, more deals. When you are doing well, you get attracted with a lot of celebrities, with a lot of great people. So that is happening to McLaren already. There will be cameras in this Belgian Grand Prix to check the flexibility of the front wings, and the cameras will be on the front weight load of the car, certainly. And they are testing AC components for races in F1 for tracks like Singapore, Qatar. Those tracks, they are testing AC, and I think it will be tested on one manufacturer this race, which should be a Red Bull car. So let's see how it works. But Lewis Hamilton has spoken against it. Why are they drivers? The only reason they are drivers is to go through all those things, and that's how it has been of old. I don't see anything they should change now. These drivers should work hard. That's why they are paid in millions. If you see their salary every year, you would understand that, man, these guys are paid millions. Max Verstappen presently is the highest paid. Lewis Hamilton should be the highest paid next year. He's taking a whooping $55 million or euros every year. So he should be able to go through the pain and everything. That's what they are paid for. I think it's one of the best things that Pierre Gasly does, as in remembering his friend Antoine Hubert that died in F2 during the Belgian Grand Prix in 2019, which was a very sad one. He had always gone there to pay homage or respect to him, which is great. He has always done that to put flowers there. Antoine Hubert is not just a friend of Pierre Gasly, he's a friend of Esteban Ocon, Charles Leclerc, and all. Well, they pay their homages in different ways, but his is so touching in a way that I think I love it. Upgrades. Mercedes brought upgrades. The floor has been reprofiled, and also the lower end of the side pod, the upper side of the floor, has been reprofiled, and also they've brought some wings to the halo for this Belgian Grand Prix. So it's going to be an interesting one. And sincerely, I don't know yet the kind of rear wings and front wings they will be on, the Mercedes will be on, but certainly it's going to be bananas. Mercedes don't want to take, they don't want to collect, they want to be in the front row, they want to be competitive in this race, and I think it's going to be a very difficult one, a very interesting race. We're going to enjoy it because it's an opportunity that the Red Bull are starting from the back, and Sergio Perez pitch his car in the front. This FP1 give us the result of that, and I'll give you much load on that as soon as possible. Red Bull, they didn't really bring much upgrade except for track specific upgrades, but like I said earlier, Max Verstappen will be having a 10 place grid penalty, and also Yuki Tsunoda will be starting at the back. The reason why Max Verstappen having a 10 place grid penalty is because he has changed the internal combustion engine, but Yuki Tsunoda will be taking a lot because he changed a lot of things, not just the eye, some other parts of the engine were changed. That will put him behind everybody. If wherever he qualifies, it will be like 20, 30, 25 place grid penalty, something like that. The most interesting one is the upgrade that Alpine brought from their sponsors, the color Deadpool and Wolverine advert. And I can tell you, Ryan Reynolds had been very intelligent with the way he makes advert for this team. Not just for this team, but for his whole team. He has the company that makes the advert. He makes it so colorful that the money still comes around himself, which makes more sense for him. His money is not going out or to any other business owner, but it's still around his own people, his own businesses. And he uses his sports, his advert companies, movies to advertise a lot of things, which makes more sense for him, which is interesting. It's generating a lot of huge profit. So coming this weekend with ApeCoin, looks beautiful. The red and yellow or black with of Deadpool and Wolverine looks beautiful and beautiful on it. We have some few bits from other car manufacturers like McLaren, Ferrari, and others, track specific and all sorts coming in. But you know, like normal FP1, we won't know who is carrying more fuel and who is carrying less fuel. But certainly we can see that Max Verstappen is looking tasty. He's looking like he's coming to win because he has a new engine in his car. But does that guarantee a win? Not on that track. That track is good for overtaking, like I said earlier, but I'm not sure on that track, no matter what strategy he's using. This is not 2-3 years ago. The advantage is lost. Though during the FP1 practice, he had about 5/10 over everybody, but that does not really show the pace. And also in his long run pace, he's devastatingly fast. He's about 3 seconds faster than the Ferrari and over a second faster than the Mercedes, about a second faster than McLaren. But what fuel plan or fuel run or strategy are other teams running on? What is it really running on? In FP2, FP3, we will really see who tends to qualify better and who tends to run better. Wherever he's starting from, even if it is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I don't see him winning the race. It's not because I think he can't win, but because it's going to be a different race, a different ball game entirely that will be set up this weekend, because the advantage is not to them again. And to look funny if they cannot bring what they have to the race, in which we know what they have the pace, but will they be able to bring the right pace? Will they be able to bring the right speed? I'm not sure. Certainly Ocon was unable to come out for a run because on his outlap he had water leakage, something like that, and he had to come back in. They could not finish up. Gasly had a good run. Alex Albon had a good run in that Williams. The Williams look sharp, but the boys will be separated from the men in FP2, FP3. We'll be able to know what they really are on, if they are really high on something else or high on their normal pace. In FP2 I'll give you more. Now the FP2, for some drivers, it is the representation of their true qualifying pace, while some are still testing where they want to be. But for McLaren, it's for what they really want to do tomorrow. They're up and running, setting laps. Max Verstappen was trying to challenge them, but they are like, you might have changed your new engine, but that does not sound like the Mercedes-Benz engine inside my own McLaren. And the two of them were sharp rapping. They were pulling beautiful laps out, and they wanted to continue from where they stopped or where they left it off last weekend in Hungary. Now at the end of FP2, the two McLarens were ahead. Well, but what would I say? Max Verstappen was behind them. The Ferrari, supposedly, they showed some quality pace and it looks very good from them that they are testing a lot. They still have some flovis in the first practice and second practice, and it shows they are really learning so that they can take this learning away from this circuit. And this weekend, for another 3 weeks to 4 weeks, they come back and they should be looking stronger. And the Mercedes, George Russell was doing some pretty good laps. So I'm sure the Mercedes are still hiding their hands, but Lewis Hamilton does not really care about it. Lewis Hamilton is much about about race pace in this era, because it has shown that his qualifying pace is not really there. 1-2, he's leaving the team, and it has been disclosed that this generation of cars does not suit him. But I think it's a lie. I think he's not really in it, but since his victory in Silverstone, he's looking sharp, he's looking decent and pretty decent. But naturally, if you look at him, he's been looking at his race pace. His race pace is much more important to him. But Ferrari looks quick. The Alpine are looking chubby and good. I can imagine the Mercedes engine inside the Alpine maybe next year or upper year, whenever they decide. But I think they are trying to decide for next year. And let me quickly say this: Bruno Farmin will be leaving Alpine at the end of August, which means this is his last race with Alpine. That is bad. Alpine, I don't know, they decide to just ask anybody. They have the axe in their hand, so let them do it. Yuki Tsunoda, I just got that he'll be having a 60 grid place penalty. I think he should start from the pit lane. That might be better, I'm sorry, but he will be having a 60 grid place penalty. Wow. But the race will be in different places, I think, being like 3 places on Sunday from what I'm looking at. The Red Bull will be fast, but I think the McLaren will be able to hold the Red Bull out. Mercedes might be able to hold the Red Bull out if the Mercedes are able to qualify high. I think Ferrari looks stronger, but the race pace in FP1 is different from the FP2. The race pace in FP2 looks blistering from McLaren and the Red Bull. And to the Ferrari and Mercedes, they have good race pace, but Mercedes do hide a lot of things sometimes. But let's see what they come up with. But this is looking like a very interesting race. It's going to be buckling and great. Up until tomorrow, FP3 qualifying. I love you guys. Bye. Cheers.